strengthen their relationship with themselves and others virtually, no matter where they are. Seeing what's possible for people is the highlight of my job. For example, I support people through job transitions, relationship changes, and developing new habits. Recently, I hosted a workshop and people walked away with hope, courage, feeling worthy and seen. I would love to connect with you. Feel free to reach out for a virtual complimentary 60-minute conversation to see if it's a good fit to work together one-on-one, or we can just simply discuss any upcoming events. My website is www.rundeepcoaching.com. That's www.rundeepcoaching.com. I am sending you so much support.
Need to update your winter wardrobe? Here at Love It Once More Thrift Store in Clinton, we have a great selection for you. And this month, all clothing, adults and kids, is 20% off. This includes coats. This is Connie inviting you to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, or DeWittDailyNews.com.
Hi, this is Ryan Utterback with Utterback Real Estate. The crops are coming out and it's time to invest.
Does that mean we're all getting crop dusted?
No, it means it's a good time to invest in farmland.
Beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you...
And that's why you're the other Ryan.
Buying or selling farmland? Click their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
News time is 8 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Tuesday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 8 o'clock newscast. We stream to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Halloween is a fun-filled holiday, and it's important to stay safe from the things that go bump in the night. Clinton Police Chief Ben Lowers reminds trick-or-treat hours are from 5 to 8 p.m., and the police department will be participating in the trick-or-treating on the square from 4 to 5 p.m. on Thursday.
Obviously, October 31st this year, I believe it falls on a Thursday. Trick-or-treating hours for the city of Clinton are 5 to 8 p.m. There is, I believe the chamber is who sponsors the trick-or-treating on the square from 4 to 5 p.m. I think the police department, we're a little sporadic at that. I think we're going to try to take part in that this year again. But trick-or-treating on the square from 4 to 5 p.m., making that loop around, hitting all the businesses, that's always a big turnout. And then our normal trick-or-treating hours from 5 to 8 p.m. here in the city of Clinton. To discuss some Halloween safety issues, first we're going to start with the costumes, some things we talk about and kind of just review every year. Costumes, making sure that costume fits and avoiding any tripping hazards. Loose, long costumes create tripping hazards. And, I remember this with my own girls. Everybody wants to be a princess. But anyways, all those young girls and their princesses and just the different things, the capes and all that, just make sure that we're being cognizant and avoiding any tripping hazards. It's an exciting time for the kids, and so we don't want to have that result in some type of an injury.
Chief Lowers also has more reminders on those costumes.
Swords, knives, and other accessories should be short, flexible, and soft. Obviously no sharps or hard objects. Masks. We ask you to wear your mask once you arrive at the door and then prop it up on your head when you're walking from, everybody wants that scary mask or whatever else, but there's a time and place to display that and maybe walking in between the homes, an ability to flip that up on your head so that you can see good. Bright and reflective clothing. A good idea is to put a piece of reflective tape front and back on that child, so that they will be more visible.
As for trick-or-treating, Chief Lowers reminds kids under 12 should be accompanied by an adult, and everyone should be trick-or-treating in groups.
For trick-or-treating itself, we ask that children under the age of 12 are accompanied by an adult. To never trick-or-treat alone, go in groups with a trusted adult, and stay in known neighborhoods. Carry a flashlight. This isn't just for you, it's so others can also see you. Another good idea, several years ago, the police department passed out glow sticks rather than candy. Those glow sticks, whether it's a wristband or a necklace, I guess, making you visible to the other people in the motoring traffic in those neighborhoods. We ask you to only go to homes with the light on. Don't run, but rather walk in between homes, walk on the sidewalks, cross the corners. There's going to be an increase in traffic in these neighborhoods, watching the kids, but we ask you to stick to the sidewalks, stick to the driveways, don't run across yards. It will be dark. We want to avoid those tripping hazards and things like that.
It's always important to be wary of candy that's getting handed out and only eat those that are sealed from a factory.
When it comes to the treats, this is something that's kind of near and dear to me, and it's unfortunate that we live in the world that we do today. But we ask that you eat only factory wrapped treats. Make sure that there's not been any type of manipulation to that treat. They are still factory sealed. Avoid homemade treats made by strangers. That was the excitement when I was a kid. There was an elderly woman, and when I say she was an elderly woman, she was probably the age I am now. But when I was a 6 or 8 year old kid, she seemed significantly old. But anyways, made the best popcorn balls in the world. And that was always an excitement to go.
Yeah.
People made homemade treats, and it's unfortunate though. That was some of the excitement of Halloween. But for safety purposes, we ask that you don't eat homemade treats from strangers and stick to your factory-wrapped treats and candy. Have an adult examine the candy before it's consumed by the children, just to check it for safety purposes.
All that being said, the chief encourages trick-or-treaters to have fun this Halloween. Expect a dry start to the new work week. John Bumgardner at the National Weather Service in Lincoln says after a breezy and dry Monday, rain showers could move in Tuesday night into Wednesday.
Yeah, we've got quite the strong system it'll be passing well to our northwest the middle of next week, but out ahead of it, I think initially Monday will be breezy and dry. Tuesday, Monday, we could have some concerns for field fires again, but Tuesday, the moisture increases, and sometime Tuesday into Thursday, it looks like we're going to have showers, maybe some more thunderstorms, and right now, the ensemble guidance is 80 to 90% chance of some rain, possibly quite a bit of it.
Bumgardner indicates if you're planning to be out trick-or-treating with the little ones, the weather should be rather tolerable compared to some Halloweens of recent memory with rain and even snow.
Yeah, it has been looking that way the last several days. Although I will say I noticed yesterday and then again today, a couple of our models are starting to hint at maybe that cold front that was supposed to come through Wednesday night into Thursday might kind of stall somewhere near our area and then lift back north as a warm front. So it'll be interesting to see how Halloween shakes out. Right now, like the European model, one of my favorites, is showing the front comes through early Thursday and then it kind of lifts back north Friday into Saturday. So Halloween might be our coolest day, but we're still expecting like highs maybe in the anywhere from the upper 50s to the upper 60s. Still a bit of uncertainty there. And then maybe Friday back into the 70s. Who knows?
Right now, forecasts are calling for chances of rain on Saturday and Sunday with temperatures in the 60s. With dry conditions, the harvest continues to make significant progress in Illinois. State crop statistician Mark Schleusner says some moisture came and we did get some moisture and temperatures were above normal once again in Illinois with 6 days suitable for field work. Soybeans are nearly complete and the corn harvest made significant progress.
Soybean harvest reached 90% finished compared to 86 1 year ago and 80% for the 5-year average. 87% of corn acres were harvested as of Sunday. That is up 20 points from the previous week and is 14 points ahead of the 5-year average harvest progress of 73%.
Winter wheat is 85% planted. Get news anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. This is Seth Lawrence, News and Program Director for WHOW and WEZC. We take pride in being Clinton and Central Illinois' local radio stations each and every day, 7 days a week. What does local news mean? Here's a sample.
Asking Piatt County residents, would they consider establishing a 708 mental health board?
We're Strong Kids Campaign, which is our annual campaign to help us fund all the scholarship money that we give out to members and participants.
Well, we're seeing a lot of relinquishments, and not only that, but basically just abandoned dogs. We've found dogs that have been that we suspect have been dumped.
You hear the local people that make the news every day, 7 days a week on the big 1520 AM, 92.3 FM, and 106.5 FM WHOW, and on the station playing America's best music, 95.9 FM WEZC.
Share 55. With SRN Sports, I'm Andrew Stewart. At the World Series, just one victory away, the Los Angeles Dodgers beat the slumping New York Yankees 4-2 last night in Game 3.
The Dodgers have taken a commanding 3-0 lead in the World Series after defeating the Yankees 4-2 in Game 3. It took L.A. only 3 batters to take command of Game 3. Shohei Ohtani led off with a 4-pitch walk from Clark Schmidt. After Mookie Betts flew out, Freddie Freeman continued his sizzling hitting by lining a home run into the right field seats for a 2-0 Dodgers lead. Freeman has homered in each of the 3 series games.
I've just been seeing the ball very well. Obviously, not missing mistakes. Hopefully we just can keep it going tomorrow. We got one more.
Walker Buehler and 6 relievers kept the Yankees from scoring until 2 out in the 9th inning when Alex Verdugo hit a 2-run homer. Tom Merriam, New York.
In the NBA yesterday, winners include Chicago, Houston, and Phoenix. This is SRN Sports. In the NFL yesterday, wide receiver Calvin Austin III scores twice as the Pittsburgh Steelers hold off the New York Jets.
The Steelers have won their last 2 games with Russell Wilson at the quarterback spot and 3 wins overall. They broke away from a grinder of a game to beat the Giants 26-18. Calvin Austin III snapped off a 73-yard punt return to swing the game in the Steelers' favor in the 3rd quarter. Says Coach Mike Tomlin.
We were ready to break this thing open, man. I talked to Calvin before on 3rd down before he took the field. He'd just been close for a couple of weeks, and I thought it was his time, and he thought it was his time, and he delivered.
Austin also caught a touchdown pass. Najee Harris ran for 114. The Giants tried to potentially tie the game on the final drive, but quarterback Daniel Jones threw an interception to end that hope. I'm Chuck Freeman.
On the ice yesterday, winners include Columbus, Chicago, San Jose, and Carolina in overtime. With sports, I'm Andy.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. The Central A&M Raiders have the tall task of taking on the 2nd seed in the South bracket of the 1A playoff Saturday when they travel to Hardin, Calhoun. Coach Brent Weekly says after a tough loss to Leroy, his team went back to a spread-style offense that his A&M teams have been known for. He felt the tighter wing T formation was a good learning experience for his team, but they had success once they spread things back out.
We got a running back. He's ran for over 1,000. Evan Pearsall, last year as a sophomore, was a first-team all-conference guy in the CIC. And, we've handed him the ball quite a few times this year, and, he's done a good job. And like I said, our offensive line, for the most part, has established the physicality that you need at the varsity level, and at least at our class system. And hopefully, we started the year out being a wing T team, sprinkled in with a little spread just because we had so many young guys and we wanted to try to keep games close. And then it kind of went, we played Leroy, and, we ran for about 180 against them, but only threw for 30. And they didn't throw one pass the entire game, and they're really good. Really good physical team, and they beat us up a little bit. And, our kids, the next week, we kind of spread it out a little bit more, kind of like what we've always done here. And our kids, us teaching them the wing T was a positive because it allows us to play more physical and want to play more physical, and we're better defensively because of it. But we did it for so long. But our team's now an up-tempo spread team that tries to put defenses in bad positions and find the matchups to make it difficult for defenses.
Coach Weekly has been able to expand his playbook recently, but recognizes the challenge that is ahead in its first-round matchup on the road.
I feel like we got a lot of what we do in. Early in the year, I can't say that. I felt like 10 or 12 plays, and that was it, and that's okay. We learned to execute those things, and now we can tinker with them and do new things. I think this week we'll have a heck of a test with how good they are. They knocked off Camp Point earlier this year, the defending state champs. There were 3 teams there in that league that finished 8-1. They did a good job. Really, that league is. I talked to Coach Flowers from Carrollton earlier today, and told me, hey, this league's as good as it's been in a long, long time, and. So they're playing grown-man football over there. So, we have to really make sure that we try to play as fast as we can, play free as we can, and when you play fast and free and have some success, you get a lot of confidence, and hopefully we can get some of that early on in the game and go from there.
Hardin Calhoun will play a physical brand of football, and Coach Weekly believes his team will have to match their physical style of play.
First, you can't let the trip beat you. You can't let the 2 hour and 15-minute drive that we'll have on Saturday kind of beat you. This past week, we had a hour and 40-minute bus ride to GCMS, so our kids have at least done that, so they at least know what to expect a little bit. We'll find a pit stop halfway this time, so kids can get out, use the restrooms, and it's over 2 hours. And get down there. It's a heck of a facility. It's a nice experience for kids, and right there on the river, right next to fairgrounds down there. And it'll be a good experience for our young guys. What do we have to do? We can't turn the ball over. We can't have any pre-snap penalties. We have to do our best to match their physicality. We have to force turnovers, and if we do force turnovers, we have to score on them. We can't just turn that into a punt or whatever. We have to score and try to make them feel like they're chasing. If you can do that with teams that don't usually throw it, not saying they can't, but they don't usually do that, it kind of speeds them up and kind of deflates them a little bit.
Game time Saturday will be 1:30 p.m. for the Raiders, who are making its 6th appearance in the playoffs under Coach Weekly. The Mahomet-Seymour Bulldogs overcame a slow start and grew up this year to finish 7-2, qualifying for the 5A playoffs. John Atkins says his team was immature, and when they started 0-2, he felt his team had a lot of growing up to do. He feels they answered the bell.
We were kind of young when we started out the year, especially defensively. Starting 2 freshmen, starting multiple sophomores here and there in different locations. We had a lot of growing up to do. And then on top of that, we kind of had a front-loaded schedule. Played Sycamore there in week 3, and before that Highland in week 2, and then started off the game or the season with Morton, a very good ball club as well. So, we're definitely, we feel battle-tested, especially, losing that double overtime game at Highland, and then coming back and only losing by a score against Sycamore for our 2 defeats. We feel really good, again, about how we've grown up, about how we've continued to progress throughout the year, and I really like the way our kids are playing football right now. When we were 1-2, I told the kids, I'm like, this is uncharted territory for us. Where we haven't had a losing record or even 500 record in a long time, and so it was new for us. But I got to give credit to our senior leadership and our captains overall. They did a tremendous job during that stretch there, of back-to-back defeats, and being 1-2 to start the season, and us being so young at the time. Our leadership was absolutely tremendous. The way that they held the guys together and continued to rally and stay positive and continue to understand the big picture and continue to get better. And I felt like we did that. And again, that's all credit to our seniors as a class, and then certainly our leadership and our captains for sure.
Coach Atkins once again has a dynamic quarterback leading his offense and very good playmakers to get the ball to.
Our quarterback, Lucas Dyer, is probably one of the best quarterbacks I think I've ever coached in my career. Anytime he's got the ball in his hands, we got a chance to be successful. He makes things happen. He throws a great ball, and then we got weapons kind of all around him. We started out the season with Trey Peters. Our kid that's going to U of I, he unfortunately got hurt in that Sycamore game, and we haven't had him since. But in his absence, we've had several guys step up. Ray Long's had a great season after coming back off his injury. Mason Orton, Gavin Hammerschmidt, Wade Manuel, all these guys have stepped up. And then Kate Ashby, our workhorse in the backfield, behind Channing Byers and our 5 offensive linemen that we returned from last year. We've done a great job offensively executing and being able to put up statistics and points. And then, like I mentioned earlier, defensively, we've gotten so much better each and every week. And again, anytime your defense is led by Brock Vanderveer, you're in a pretty good spot, and you got a really good chance to be successful. And Ethan Esker and Henry Wagner are 2 linebackers who have played outstanding this year as well. In the secondary, A.J. Demos has came a long way. Him and Paxton O'Malley are playing good football, as well as Blade Harold and Braden Garrett also. And then on the D-line, Noah Frank has been incredibly consistent for us throughout the entire year. And then the two freshmen, Javon Tompkins and Luke Boo, again, have just grown up each and every week and have had outstanding freshman seasons for us.
The Bulldogs can beat its opponents in a variety of ways, and Coach Adkins feels very good about his team heading into the playoffs.
Well, I think it's kind of a pick your poison, and that's what I think I love most about this team is I think we're flexible, right? And we're very multiple. If teams try to take away our pass, which rightfully so, right? Like we mentioned with Lucas, we have the capabilities to be able to run the football for a lot of yards, especially with those 5 offensive linemen up front. And then when teams try to load the box, obviously Lucas can hurt you through the air. So I definitely think that's probably what makes us special is just how versatile we are offensively. And then I think special teams-wise this year has been kind of that X factor for us. And we have been absolutely dominant on special teams this year. I mean, I'm really proud of our coaching staff, led by Coach Pogue, our special teams coordinator, and just all those kids who are part of all of our special teams have done an excellent job this year. I feel really good. Again, we're healthy. We're as healthy as we've been, kind of in this part of the season, heading into week 10. And again, like I mentioned earlier, we're playing really good football right now, and we've grown up so much since week 1 and then that week 2 and week 3 loss. That we just continue to get better, and that's still going to be our goal each and every week, and hopefully we get to play for many more weeks after this.
Mahomet-Seymour draws Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin in the first round of the 5A playoffs for a Friday night game at 7 o'clock in Mahomet. Get sports anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
ServPro of Piatt DeWitt Counties, the leader in fire, water, and mold restoration, is once again